Piers Morgan was recently on the Trigonometry podcast, and he was asked about why his support for the Jewish state has shifted. I want you to hear what he said.
Because I think what's going on now in Gaza is utterly unconscionable. I think it has nothing to do with the original war aims that they stated, which were to get the hostages back and to eliminate Hamas. Neither of those things have happened. Neither of those things are looking likely to happen. What is happening? Gaza is being completely destroyed. I mean, 70% has already been destroyed. The population has been crammed into various small areas now. And even as they queue for food on a daily basis, they're getting shot dead. And the IDF, every time it's 20, 30, 40 people queuing desperately for food. All they say is, A, we're giving them loads of food. So why are thousands of people stampeding for food if they're so overfed? And secondly, they say, well, we just fired warning shots. We had a couple of people threaten us. We've launched an inquiry. We're doing an investigation. It's a familiar pattern. I got all the answers to all of these incidents at the aid queues, and it was very damning when I read it out to one of the pro-Israeli guests I had.
So there's many things wrong with what Piers is saying, for the simple fact that he all obviously is biting the Kool-Aid. Another thing is, where's all the video evidence of these things? What I'm saying is that they are so good at documenting. I want you to think about this. If Hamas and these Palestinians, the Gazans, whoever they are, reporters, are so good at documenting all the explosions, right? I want you to notice how this mirrors exactly what we saw when Black Lives Matter, when we only saw the end of the videos. Right, the brutal beatdown of black people going on, but we only saw the end of the videos. I want you to notice that we're always only seeing the end of the videos. So he's falling for this, and then on top of that, to ask such a silly question: why are Israelis not defending? Look, Piers, think about this. Why don't you have video evidence? If everybody's saying Israelis are just gunning down the civilians, Hamas has no problem showing you murder that either they've committed or that the Israelis commit.
I think that you should believe people when they say what their intent is. Smotrich in the Israeli government, incredibly far right, along with Ben-Gvir. And I think Netanyahu's gone this way too. He's been influenced by them in a very, very damaging way. I think that he said about 3 weeks ago that the plan was to cleanse Gaza of all Palestinians, right? That's clearly what they're trying to do now.
You see that there. You see right there. This is exactly what I'm saying. I want you to listen to what Piers just said. He says, when people tell you what their intentions are, you should believe them. Gaza and Hamas, Houthis, Hezbollah, Iran, many of the regimes here, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, have been saying for years, not only to Israel, but to the West, to the UK, to the United States. They have told us very clearly what their intentions were. Piers, why don't you believe them? And unfortunately, this is an uncomfortable truth for people. That is the overwhelming majority of the Gazan people. They have let us know what their intention was. That was to commit several October 7ths over and over and over again. The same people who paraded through the streets, passing out candy, not only when every, terrorist attack is announced here in Israel, but also when 9/11 happened. This is what we're talking about. Yes, so Piers, you're right. When people tell you what their intentions are, you should believe them. So I want to fast forward to another part of the clip, and I'm going to let Piers say it for himself. Go ahead, listen.
I don't know how many Hamas are left. I mean, the American intelligence says for every one they're killing, there are 5 more coming through with the same ideology. How could it not be that? I mean, given the scale of carnage in Gaza right now, how do they think Israel, the government, not the people, but how does the Israeli government think this is going to make anything safer for Israelis? It's not. Is it going to make life safer for Jews around the world? It's not. It's going to make it more dangerous.
So I want you to pay attention again to what he just said. You're saying that this war, this operation, whatever it is not only a potential threat. He's talking about in the future from what's going on, because they're able to easily replace soldiers, and we're seeing what's going on. Israel's losing support all over the world. Whatever the case is, Jews are endangered all over the world already. But he's talking about in the future. If this continues, how could it not? He's saying, how could it not? Let me tell you how it could not. Listen to yourself, Piers. We're going back to some critical thinking. I'm bringing you guys all the way back. This war, this operations, whatever it is, could potentially threaten Israelis in the future and Jewish people all over the world, says Piers. Why? Let's just pretend that it's tit for tat. Let's pretend as if, there are equal war crimes, which there's not. But let's pretend that this is actually true. What you're actually doing, Piers, is you are admitting to the nature of these individuals. Because I asked you this question. After the aggressive pogroms that the Russians did to the Jews, were they going to be at a future scare for their life? Was it going to be potentially dangerous for Russians all over the world because of what they did to the Jews? How about the Germans? Did Germans become more endangered, not only there, but all over the world because of what they did to the Jews? I'm trying to point out something to you. We're talking about nature of this group and nature of this ideology. So you are admitting that the nature of these individuals, i.e. Palestinians or Arabs, and all of those who support them worldwide, are so violent that this war can be the catalyst for future attacks against the Jewish people as a whole, collectively, all around the world. How could it not, Piers says? How could it not lead to that? I'm telling you, Piers, it depends on the people. It depends on the people. They will not suffer defeat, and there's nothing courageous or good or great about that. And for sure, the response to it isn't one of cowardness, where you allow things to go on because you're afraid about what they're going to do in the future. That's one thing. But what you're admitting is the nature of the people, because guess what? Jews have been persecuted all throughout the millennia, with no impending danger to the ones who were doing it, because that's not the nature of the people. The nature of the Jews versus the Arab nature, even in similar societies, it ain't the same. The reason why, and this is one of the biggest reasons why the narrative is being pushed the way that it is, let alone there's, I don't know how many more millions of Arabs there are in the world than there are of Jews. It's because with us, it's not that we're just being held to a moral standard, a higher moral standard. And it's not only because of anti-Semitism. It's because they know the nature of a Jew is actually kindness. And therefore, they know they could get away with it. They know that they could get away with smashing and throwing our name into the mud. And this is why many influencers have said that the moment that they take a stance against the Palestinians, they receive death threats over and over again. And not the case when it's against the Jews in Israel. We're not sending death threats to people because they disagree with our ideology. But Islamists, jihadists, and Arabs that come from those factions, they will, and they do. Why don't Arabs have to be on alert after committing October 7th and other terror? Piers did not say after October 7th. This is what he didn't say. He didn't say, oh my goodness, this endangers Palestinian Arabs all over the world, not only in Israel, but all over the world after they committed this. Why didn't he say that? Because he knows our nature. So you are admitting who the true aggressor in this conflict actually is. These people are demanding ceasefires from the people who were attacked. They're demanding statehood from the people who refused. They refused to build a state. I just want to let you know that we have launched Nissim Black Store. All you have to do is go online, order yourself one of these amazing mugs, God is King, with a matching t-shirt. We have a whole plethora of different shirts that are all about representing God wherever you go. As believers in the one true God of Israel, it is our duty not to hide, not to back down, not to shy away from expressing our faith wherever it is that we go. If you want to go and walk righteously before your God with a nice t-shirt, with a nice sweater, with a mug that's reminding us constantly that God is here with us, go to nissimblack.store and make sure you get yourself some merch. It really helps support this channel and everything that we're doing and everything that we plan to do. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. I thank you all for all of your support. So wait, if you like what you just saw, click this one right here. And if you'd rather hear the full episode, you could just click right here. Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when any new episodes of the podcast is released, you will be amongst the first to know.